What team? I'll leave it up to the viewers. What team do you guys think I should go with the equal performance? First come, first serve. Merc it is, Mr. Balding. So we're going to go ahead and pick Mercedes-Benz for this equal performance race.
And it's lights out, and away we go.
Lights out and away we go indeed for this equal cars Shanghai race. So I can only imagine that the grid is set not based on equal performance, or else I don't think Lewis Hamilton would be up here in P3 with Logan Sargent and Yuki Tsunoda. So P14, or P13 and P3 here for Lewis Hamilton and George Russell. I love how detailed everything is now. However, let's see. So Lewis should actually have a pretty easy run of things in the early going of this race. Also immediately taking the engines off of pushing to kind of save the engine temp for a bit later on in this Grand Prix. It looks like we've kind of all cycled out exactly where I thought we would be. We're going to go ahead and put George Russell on high aggressiveness and continue on like this. So P3 and P13, let's see how we advance. Thankfully, pretty easily, I mean, those soft tires go off pretty quick. So around the outside of Logan Sargent to move up into P2 there, but somehow, some way, George Russell has once again been re-overtaken by Valtteri Bottas. And we've re-overtaken Valtteri Bottas for the 8 millionth time. Not ideal. It looks like most of them have been able to get away without any sort of damage. However, it looks like Piastri might be getting a penalty for that one. I mean, we're still at the front of the queue of what I would consider to be the S-tier drivers, but not quite close enough as Lewis and Yuki continue to go side by side, although we have made the overtake on Ocon. Okay, up the inside of Zhou Guanyu. Not quite sure what those black dots above the drivers are. But either way, now finally up ahead. We'll go ahead and push away to try to get ourselves in some clean air, as once again we continue to swap back and forth here with Yuki Tsunoda. Well, not necessarily the most ideal thing for our race. I was hoping Tsunoda would continue on, but either way, into the pit lane now for Lewis Hamilton, onto a brand new set of soft compound rubber. A relatively mistake-free pit stop at 2.88 seconds. Not too bad there for Mr. Hamilton, but unfortunately we will still come out behind the likes of Yuki Tsunoda. This is where we're going to go ahead and dump everything that we got with George Russell. Hopefully we can get the overcut, and we'll see him in the pit lane this time by. And in comes Georgie. So onto a set of another set rather of medium compound rubber. Should be a mistake. Well, we made up a lot of time. At least I thought we did on our outlap. We were able to push in clean air, but that's not going to help the cause. So George Russell makes his way out of the pit lane as Albon has overtaken Lewis for whatever reason. Not quite sure why that was. But either way, we'll let George bring in these tires the way that he wants to, and we'll settle into this kind of second phase of this Grand Prix.
I'm in the wall.
Yeah, no kidding. So Logan Sargent goes for a nice trip into the barriers here, and that has brought out a virtual safety car. I don't think we can do much here with Russell, but we can do something here with Lewis. Right, well, into the pit lane here for Mr. Hamilton, onto a set of hard compound rubber. This is a bit of a cheap pit stop, obviously, in the VSC conditions. I'm hoping that we come out ahead of this massive gaggle of cars, although it will be quite close. So Lewis making his way out of the pit lane now. We'll go ahead and fast forward it a little bit, maybe coming out behind the likes of Lance Stroll, but just, and I mean just barely. I mean, we got overtaken by Hulkenberg, but even still, we're in a decent spot. Now we just need to make sure that we get a move on once the VSC comes to an end. Yeah, Daniel's not going to put up too much of a fight here. Around the outside, I mean, technically we are racing Tsunoda for the race win here. I'm not quite sure where Leclerc and Verstappen cycle into it, but I think we're the only one at the current moment that's going to the end of this Grand Prix. So, yeah, up to P6. Hopefully we can just latch onto the back of Stroll. Still waiting for that pit stop from Yuki Tsunoda.
There's the opening.
Well, there we go. So Yuki Tsunoda is going to go ahead and dive into the pit lane here. We were the only one that pitted under that VSC. We will take over the race lead. Our gap to between ourselves and Tsunoda will be as George Russell dives in the pit lane. It looks like it's going to be about 12.5 seconds of buffer. That's to Pierre Gasly, so I might have just pulled a masterstroke as George Russell goes on to his own set of soft compound rubber to finish this race. So, as the pit cycle has been more or less completed, we will cycle ourselves out in P1 and P14. Ouch. Well, Zhou Guanyu taking the one-way ticket out of this race into the gravel trap, although the gravel trap didn't really do much to slow that car down. But either way, a VSC has been called. Not sure what more we can do as we get another replay of the Zhou spin. Oh, yeah. Well, there goes that gearbox. Round the outside. Magnussen's going to go ahead and cough up the spot. Thank you, K-Mag, up into P12. Hopefully we can get Alonso on the same straightaway. Not quite close enough. Fernando's going to cover the inside, although I don't think it's going to do him much good. Around the outside for Mr. Russell and up into P11. Now we just got to deploy away and go catch those in front. Well, maybe it was a confidence thing, but finally he's deciding not to be useless. Around the outside of Nico Hulkenberg. Come on. Come on. He's on medium tires as well. We should be able to get this. Come on, up the inside, and we'll have DRS to go as well. Up into the points for Mr. Georgie. Doesn't really do much. Actually, kind of hurts George, although we will be able to push a bit harder come the end of this Grand Prix. But for now, we'll put everybody on neutral. And I think this more or less kind of locks up this win for ourselves. Round the outside of Lando Norris. Not quite sure how this has all worked out, but hey, we're all up for a good fight. Round the outside of the German driver? Nice, the English driver, and up into P8 for Mr. Russell. Well, a bit of a head-scratching scenario, if I'm honest. Not quite sure why Lewis was given a P3 starting spot, but either way, coming to the start-finish line now, Lewis Hamilton wins the Equal Cars Chinese Grand Prix in a way. Leclerc will come home P2. Tsunoda will cap off the podium in P3 after really keeping us honest the entire Grand Prix.
Congratulations to the team.
I don't think anyone could be disappointed with a race like that. A consummate professional through and through.
Meanwhile, here at the back, George Russell, very complicated race. We did not optimize it worth a damn, but we actually were able to overtake Daniel Ricciardo there at the end and get ourselves up into P7. So P1 and P7, that is exclusive scenario number 2 in the books.